What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Chasing the Target, a hectic Sunday, a lovely Sunday. And first of all, we start with the news that the Indian women's team under 19 are the T20 World Cup champions. A fabulous performance for them, clinical, beating England convincingly in the end by 7 wickets. What a performance with the ball and then with the bat. There was a bit of hiccups, but they made sure that they chased down the target. It was an impeccable performance in the field, a very good fielding as well as great bowling. Lines and lengths were perfect. The pitch helped them, of course, but this is a great start for this young team. And, with the Senior Women's World Cup also starting, I think it'll give them a lot of confidence. With me, I have Mr. Faisal. How are you celebrating this win, bro?
Doing good, man. I mean, it's a very big achievement, very big confidence booster, not only for the under 19 women, but also the senior women's के लिए भी बहुत बड़ा boost है, because I know 3 semi-final में आके chokers का tag लगा हुआ है उन लोगों को, but I think ये जिस तरीके से शिफाली वर्मा and all of these guys played together, I know it was a bit of a bumpy ride. Super 6 का पहला मैच हारे, काफी चीज़ां थे कि भाई अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया फाइनल में आ गई, अगर ये हो गया तो, but I think fantastic character displayed by the girls, and yeah, it's just been something next level. That spell from the girls, and Prasavi Chopra and other girls that really picked up a lot of wickets. Archana Devi's catch fielding में clinical थे आज बहुत ज़्यादा. Yeah, congratulations, and yeah, hopefully this is like the start to a new generation of cricket.
The only seamer in this attack, which was Sadhu, who opened the bowling, look at her figures. Outstanding. Like 4 overs, 6 runs, 2 wickets. The rest were all spinners, but she started off with immense control with the new ball. She had that line outside of stump, and she got one ball to jag in and got a wicket as well. And she was very, well backed by Archana Devi as well, who, with her off spin with the new ball, again showing control with that new ball, making sure that, she gets her line and lengths right, no loose deliveries. But you have to commend that new ball start, because when you put England under pressure like that, and this is an England team, mind you, who are been unbeaten in this tournament. So to put them under pressure like that, get wickets early on, and then continue. We've seen with Indian team, especially the men's team, जब 5-6 wickets चलाते, then थोड़ा सा वो हो जाता, respite मिलती opposition को. यहाँ पे they were relentless in the field and with the ball. They were very, very good. Those 2 catches you mentioned, the Archana Devi catch, even off her bowling, the catch of the second wicket, I think, at long off or long on, that was a brilliant catch as well. So overall, a very, very good performance. But I have to commend the opening bowling in particular. I think it was really good. And then in came Chopra. How do you pronounce it?
Prasavi.
Yeah. Bro, she bowled like me, just like international flight. क्या loop देती उन्हें. And by the time the ball comes, and then it was turning as well. So by the time the ball comes, you're trying to be patient, and then suddenly it turns. It was very good bowling as well. And she was, very important in the semi-finals against New Zealand. Again today, made sure that the pressure was kept on, because when you come on as a leg spinner, it's very easy for you to leak runs. She made sure that she didn't leak any runs and picked up wickets as well. Ibrahim Pai is in the house. He is saying, what was that pitch in Lucknow? That was not a T20 pitch. Yeah, me and Faz were discussing this. Like, it was a low scoring. It wasn't the best pitch. It made for a different kind of game. But I feel that these kind of pitches are okay to have once in a while. It's a batsman dominated game. We always have like 200, 300 runs. Like even in T20s, we've seen 240, 250. So I feel that a pitch like this is okay once in a while. Of course, you don't want to have it all the time. And Hardik did complain about it in the post-match conference. We'll get to that. But yeah, Faz, I was talking about the Gyals. So
Coming to the galdom or the girls, as you say, galdom. I think, man, even a coach. I think it's a very good. If I look at it from another angle, just like conditions pade. I think that is commendable. They really understood what kind of a lineup to set. They did their research, they did their homework, and they came up with three spinners. I think, and sorry, the
पूरे
placement.
स्पिनर्स थे पूरे स्पिनर्स थे खाली एक
Exactly.
ही
And
मीडियम
homework acha, I think the credit to their coach Noshin Al Khadir, if I'm not wrong, that's her name or how we pronounce it. But yeah, it's a fantastic, research and the ability to sort of do it and with against a team that, like you mentioned, were unbeatable. I know India just lost the one match in this whole tournament against an Australian side, but yeah, they had a sort of a bumpy ride and they lost a big matches where it was a Super Six, and also having that tag of being chokers as an Indian cricket team in the World Cup. I think they really responded fantastically. I think Shefali Verma's birthday gift, what she wanted, she got it. And yeah, I think it was. I think the only thing you could say, why at least for an Indian squad, it was good to have the likes of Richa Ghosh and Shefali Verma in that squad that really helped and mentored the other girls like Asharawat, Archana Prashavi. Not taking anything away from them, 100% not taking anything away from them, because if you see, a lot of people were complaining about seniors, but seniors रह के भी उनमें इतना impact नहीं करे जितने बाकी के बच्चे करे. In the Archana Devi or Sharawat or you take these girls who are like 18, 19, you don't see those big girls like making a lot of impact.
but the thing is they're still under 19
Yeah,
that's
100%. No, I mean there were a lot of people who were against के भाई international level पे खेल के, but
it's not their fault,
I
it's for
still say
talent.
it didn't make a lot of difference because these girls who were like
Yeah, even if it does make a difference, they're credited for their talent. They're in the senior team and the under 19 team. That's like they're lucky to have that. And also, I think the senior women's team took that as an advantage. कि भाई यहाँ पे senior World Cup यही है. Let them get used to the conditions. Of course, the level will be different. And listen, it's going to be a big step now from this under 19 World Cup to next week when the
next
big
one.
tournament starts, the senior
Yeah.
tournament starts. It's going to be a big step for Shifali and Richa as well. So it won't be that easy for them. It'll still be challenging, but at least they're accustomed to the conditions. I don't really believe that it was unfair because they are under 19. If they were 20, 21, then you can have an argument. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. It's not their fault that they're in the senior team at a young age, right? उनकी गलती थोड़ी है. अगर आप
बिल्कुल
allowed-
गलती नहीं है. मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ, like despite even having that thing, you cannot call it 100% that Shefali and Richa performed in every match. There was a collectible effort over there. जहाँ पे it was not one-sided at any point of time. It didn't get one-sided except today because those were also the girls who were not in the national team, right? Who did that?
But
That's my point.
I'll tell you where the advantage was. Shifali's played
the
in a
start, yeah.
T20 World Cup final.
Yeah, yeah.
She played in the Commonwealth as well, so she understands what pressure is. So you could see her; she was the captain. She was very calm today. Even when there was a few boundaries here and there, she did not panic. She was very calm and even field placements, and that's where it helped her. That's where she had an advantage compared to the England skipper. She was always relaxed, laughing, joking because she's been in this situation before and she knows how it feels to lose. And I think that confidence, that experience really helped her here. It also allowed her to read the pitch very well, guide her bowlers, and she came on and bowled as well, picked up a very important wicket towards the end. That stumping was a very good stumping from which goes to the two senior players connecting there. So of course the experience does help, and I don't have any problem with it. I'm not complaining. Ki bhai,
Yeah, 100%. You can't complain, man. I think championship आ गई जिस तरीके से भी है. It's a World Cup. It is an under 19 World Cup and it's a big one. Leading up to the senior women's World Cup and then leading to a women's IPL, this makes a lot of noise. A lot of doors are going to be open for these kind of girls in this World Cup, particularly not just subjected to India, but the likes of Australia, England, a lot of other countries. There's a lot of talent that we saw. So yeah, it's just opened a lot of doors to the future looking bright. तो मेरे हिसाब से तो यार जीत गए वर्ल्ड कप, जबरदस्त है, and I think the party is on. And yeah, I mean,
also you saw Shefali's post match got very emotional. You saw how much it meant to her.
Yeah,
Start crying.
100%.
This is a tough England team to beat, so credit to them. It wasn't going to be an easy game, and they convincingly won in the end. And just to put that England team under pressure like that, especially knowing at the back of your mind, ki bhai, these people defended 98, 99 against Australia. you have to get them under 90, 80. And you saw that even in India's innings, the ball was turning, and it was slow. It wasn't easy to for shot making. You weren't able to, like, play any shot you want and score those free runs. And that's where that the experience from Shifali and understanding that keep high, we have to get them all out very quickly.
Yeah, and I think they just learned from their mistakes from that Australia match. They were clinical in the field. So catch up पकड़े यार वो next level का catch था वो अर्चना देवी, and the one at, I think it was at long on that they got uh, the one in Archana's bowling that was caught out. I think it was mid on or long on, one of the things, I think so. But उन्हें भी आके diving catch लिए.
Exactly what I said. Yeah, I also don't
Yeah,
remember whether it was mid on or
yeah,
mid off.
yeah,
But yeah, that was a great catch. Yeah, that was a
yeah.
great catch.
Very
And the
good
one,
diving forward. Yeah,
they also dropped a couple of catches. There was a few missed chances. Richa Ghosh also dropped a chance, but they didn't let it cost them too much. They kept attacking and never lost their cool. And then with the bat, despite losing Shifali early, and then even Shweta Sarawat, who has been outstanding, averaging what, over 80, 90 in this tournament. Despite losing these people, they still, Tiwari came, and even Trisha, they both kept held their nerve, and they waited for the full tosses. They played through the covers, didn't hesitate, didn't panic. They waited for that bat ball, because you have so many balls to play with, and yeah, I mean, that sounded kind of wrong, but yeah, they had a lot of deliveries to play with, and they waited for the full toss. Full toss was short delivery. Whenever it came, they just smashed it and got those boundaries. And what was the required rate? Like 2, 3. It was always in check.
yeah, 100%. That's what it is all about. I think holding your nerve, coming, and that's how Shefali and Richa would probably help them, like you mentioned. They bring the experience into the the dressing room, and calming everybody down. कि भाई tension मत लो, हमला है, हम लोग को मालूम है situations कैसे deal करना. I think this opens another question that I think जिस तरीके से एक youngster, for example, and अगर कोई जल्दी Indian cricket team men's में घुस के, then he come back to the, like a Shubman Gill, had he come earlier to the Indian cricket team and then come back to the under-19 World Cup as the captain, would that actually make a difference? Like this, some kind of a new innovation from the Indian side, I
So
think.
Rahul Dravid has changed the rule for the men's team. He said once you play one under 19 World Cup, that's it. You're not playing again. So even if you're like a 16-year-old and you play under 19, you can't come then the next World Cup, because if you're 16, you can still play when you're 18, right? But he's taken that once you play, that's it. So forget about like seniors coming in. Like if they think, even if you've already played as a 16, 15-year-old, you can't. But that's it. That's a rule that he's made just to make sure these things don't happen. Look, like that's also, if you look at it, it's a good rule, because it allows,
Opportunity.
yeah, it
Yeah.
gives more opportunity. But in this specific tournament, I think it was fine, because with the World Cup coming there as well in South Africa, the senior, it allows them to acclimatize. You're looking at the larger picture, basically.
Yeah, I think अभी द्रविड़ को फिर क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं उसके रूल के ऊपर, but however said and done, man, good job, well done in South Africa, made us proud, made everyone proud today. जल्दी निपटा दिए, so they could have a longer party going into the night. And yeah, credit where credit is due, and definitely जबरदस्त
100%.
performance थी overall.
100%.
Now
Congratulations.
coming to the big game today, man, like there are two big games honestly. अगर मैं South Africa England का भी मैच की बात करूँ, भाई क्या खेले South Africa यार, वो like batting, bowling. I mean, Josh Butler took it away from them towards the end of it. And yeah, he and I think it was Moin Ali, not Moin Ali. I think one other person had a good partnership going towards the end. Josh Butler hitting a 94.
Yeah, it was Moin
I
Ali,
think
and
it
then
was Wilson and Sam Curran. Yeah, Sam Curran. I think Sam
Moin
Curran was
Ali,
the
and
one
then
who-
Sam Curran.
Yeah,
But it was my
my-
man, Harry Brook, who just started the counter attack, because initially, if you noticed, the power play, it was very difficult to bat. There was moisture on the pitch, and South Africa bowling really well. Wayne Parnell in particular was very accurate, and mushkil tha batting ke liye. So it took some time, and then the way they recovered, first with Harry Brook and then Butler, they batted really well. But I think that's where they got caught in that power play, because of the low scoring and those wickets getting picked up. If you saw in the second innings, the pitch flattened, the sun came out, and it was a very, very good wicket to bat on. So, us wajah se South Africa managed to chase a big score. Lekin I think England were like 30, 40 short. They should have got close to 400 on this.
I think they just somewhere down the line they slowed down when Moin Ali and Josh Butler were playing. They're not able, obviously, it was not an easy enough bowling attack to play against. But जिस तरीके से then Josh Butler tried to accelerate towards the end of it, अच्छा दिख रहा था. He was getting a 6 and a 4, and here obviously trying for a century as well. But yeah, Sam Curran also initially बहुत slow खेलना शुरू करा था. Then he started getting the hang of the pitch, and he I think he hit a six or out, and yeah, they made. I mean, it was a decent enough target if you think about it. 300, anything 300 plus is always a good score. But no one imagined like the way Temba Bamuma started today and the way he like almost finished it, because then he had a good partnership from Miller and Jansen, which was required, and they had to play faster. So I mean, I can say 342. अगर मैं देख रहा हूँ ये pitch पे, it wasn't that bad of a thing. It was still defendable with the bowling attack. A decent bowling attack. Obviously, it's not the full throttled one. But I think credit to Bavuma, a lot of criticism to him. Short selection, itni pyar. He looked very confident from the first ball. I think it was long due. You always saw that little spark in him. कि भाई वो कर सकता था. Even in Australia, he was the only one standing out along with Zondo. But he was not able to just get through those initial, obstacles. But today, bang on यार, बहुत जबरदस्त पारी थी आज.
Yeah. No, but what I will tell you is that I feel that Sam Curran, Moeen Ali, the situation they were at, they had to be a bit careful because there was not that many wickets behind them. But if you look at Moeen Ali strike rate 113, if you look at Sam Curran, it was 164. So I don't feel that they played slow. The issue was the top order. Look at the top order. Look at Jason Roy, 9 of 19, strike rate of 47. Look at David Milan, 12 of 15, strike rate of 80. Ben Duckett 62.5 strike rate. So issue वहाँ पे आया, and that was because there was moisture on the pitch and South Africa bowled really well. And that spell, from the South African openers, it was Wayne Parnell and Ngidi. That was in the beginning. I think that was the game. That was the particular point in the game, because if you look at it in the second innings, Bavuma was. And even de Kock, okay, he took a bit of time, but he caught up as well because the sun was beating down, the pitch was better, there was not as much moisture, and that was for me the difference in the game. I felt that the way Curran, Moeen Ali batted, they gave Butler the support. It was good batting. It wasn't that much of it, and they got to a very good score. That power play is where you think, and then you also have to question England's bowling. Wokes was horrific, man. Vinny was saying yesterday, I rate Wokes very highly, but today he was horrific. Even Topley wasn't that great. It was just Ollie Stone who allowed them to take the game that close. Even in the death overs against Miller and Jansen, he bowled really well. He nailed those Yorkers. Got a good slower ball on him as well. But otherwise, England's bowling as well was questionable. Bavuma, इतना क्रिटिसिज्म भाई उसके बारे में, स्पेशली T20 वर्ल्ड कप में हमारे ही पॉडकास्ट पे कितना क्रिटिसिज्म है बवूमा का. He gets to a century, does that Nasser Hussain style celebration. I'm so happy for that guy because he's been a good captain. Yes, like that Netherlands and T20 World Cup moment aside, he's been a very good captain. He's the one who's got South Africa back into the mix of things, made them into a bowling attack which other oppositions fear. They have some talented batters as well coming up under his captaincy. But he wasn't getting the runs, and when you don't get the runs, that's the currency for you to stay in the team, and there will always be criticism. But he's got 100 down. वो भी fluent भाई, उन्हें ball one से attack करा था. He was more aggressive than de Kock. If you see the first 3-4 overs, de Kock was like 6 of 12 or something like that, and Bavuma was flying, man. He was already got to 30 before de Kock got to double digits. So वही मेरे लिए it was a very good moment for me the way Bavuma played. I was very very happy for him, and a great century, match winning in the end. And then Miller did his job, what he does.
Yeah, I think that partnership was crucial because it had like 80 runs in it. The one between Jansen and David Miller. David Miller accelerating 50 of 37, and then Jansen playing a decent 34 or something, 32. So I think वो पारी भी, I mean, despite I think century बस नहीं रहा अभी ODI cricket में, century कोई मारे भी तो obviously it is still total इतना बड़ा है कि आपको ऐसे partnership होने का. Even Henrik Klaasen to that matter जो 27 of 19 आके मारा, I think वो भी accelerate करा. So I think ये partnership ज़्यादा crucial हो गई थी between Miller and Jansen.
Even like you mentioned, Klaasen, also Van der Dusen and Markram, they chipped in as well, they made sure the score was sticking. They didn't allow the run rate to go too high, and they set the platform for the likes of Miller and Jansen to come and finish it off. Of course, then you have to do the job. It's not easy to still chase 340, but it eased off the pressure in some sort of sense, right? Because the run rate was always in check. It was a good wicket to bat on. They probably passed on information after they got out by Asa Piche, and it also allowed Miller, some time to gauge what's going on in the field. And he came and played his innings. He's very experienced. He knows exactly by कैसा फिनिश करना. उन्हें 10 साल से ये पोजीशन में खेल रहा. He understands कि even if it's a high score, he can get to that. I think he believes in his strengths, and he showed that again today. And very good from Jansen, man. Good to see Sunrisers playing well today. Markram,
Jansen, Harry Brooks.
मार्करम को
बोलो भाई, ब्रुक्स को नहीं आउट करने का वो हमारे एसआरएच का वंडा है. चलता है इंटरनेशनल मैच हैदराबाद में तो एक के साथ एक खेलेंगे. कैंट वेट.
Bilkul, matlab, I think they will have some banter now especially when they go to the IPL. Markham would always remind him of this wicket. He'll remind Brooks of this wicket, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of laughter during net sessions and everything. And yeah, international game to each to their own. They'll always look to get the opposite number out. England का ODI में performance down हो रहा है. टेंशन मत लो. T20 का भी डाउन हो रहा था. Yes, I know 6 वनडे in a row अब हार गए शायद, लेकिन टेंशन मत लो आप. यही टीम 2 T20 सीरीज होम पे बैक टू बैक हारे थे इंडिया और साउथ अफ्रीका से, और फिर वर्ल्ड कप जीते. तो डोंट वरी अबाउट इंग्लैंड, डोंट स्ट्रेस. They'll be sorted. They just need to make a few tweaks here and there.
Yeah, I think they're losing a lot. They also बहुत ज़्यादा players उनके absent है also. I think in the likes of like I don't know if Markwood plays ODIs and they have a lot of and बहुत लोग हैं यार उन लोग के पास जो replacement के जैसे आ सकते हैं. And probably next जो उन लोग की ODI series I think बांग्लादेश में भी है उनका एक tournament मार्च में. They'll come back I think stronger. But yeah, it is worrying signs अगर आप as a viewer देख रहे 6 वनडे बैक टू बैक और वो भी ऐसा कि आप जीतने वाला मैच हार रहे हो. आई थिंक फर्स्ट ओडीआई आप जीत सकते थे, आप एकदम से फुड़क बोल के आप आउट हो गए पूरे एक साथ. आई नो टेम्बा बहुमा कहते रबाडा एंड नॉर्थ आर क्लास bowlers, but 40 or 55 was a gettable thing where George Butler was playing with Moeen Ali at that time. ये मैच में भी आप 340 was still a very decent target you give to the if you have other bowlers and like Ollie Pope or like Mark Wood or some other bowlers.
Ollie
maybe
Stone
it would have been. Yeah, Ollie Stone, even Ollie Pope to batsman, sorry. But yeah, it could have been a better sort of attack bowling wise. Like England would have made some changes, but I think they have a lot of players in their arsenal also at disposal. So उन लोगों को डरना तो नहीं है, but थोड़ा बहुत worrying some sign for as a fan probably you could say.
De Kock was struggling with his hand injury, and that's why he wasn't keeping towards the end of the first innings. I was surprised that he came out to bat to open the innings. I thought it was a bit more serious, but he still managed to hit that pull shot that he hit at his first boundary. I think that pull shot over square leg that he hit for 6. It showed me that it's okay. It's not as serious. Of course, he did have an injury, but like you can't hit a shot like that if your hand is broken or anything like that. And there was no discomfort in that particular shot. And of course, I'm sure that there is an injury there. He might miss out the next game. Lekin that shot proved to me that it's okay. He can still bat. He still hit a few boundaries. That's why it took him a bit of time to get going, because he was apprehensive with that injury. He wanted to get himself in first and then play shots, and that's what he did. And he actually caught up with the strike rate, and he caught up with Bahum at a particular stage. Of course, then he lost his wicket. Lekin hopefully he gets better, and hopefully the injury is not too serious. I thought he was or he will come towards the end. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but very big win for South Africa in terms of that World Cup qualification, man. I think they're doing the right thing in terms of not focusing on it, but also focusing on it. You know what I mean? Indirect focus hai. They're not trying to completely put stress on their mind with the World Cup ke liye qualify karna hai, World Cup ke liye qualify karna hai. But I think rather than that saying just let's play each game out and see what we get. I think सही तरीके का approach है. And Temba Bavuma जितना भी आप बोलो, he knows how to captain, he knows how to handle media, he knows how to keep his nerves, and yeah, you're getting the results. And fantastic bowling from Wayne Parnell. I think North Rabada. It's a very good team effort, and yeah, the World Cup is right now in their sight, just one game at a time. I think that's how they're supposed to go.
And their bowling depth is really impressing me, right? Like, you didn't have Rabada today, but NDD came in. You have Jansen as well, Parnell. Of course, when Rabada comes in, it becomes even more fearsome, this attack. So they have options. We didn't see Shamsi today, but he's always a leg spinning option, especially in Indian conditions. He will, provide them with that wicket taking option. And then Aiden Markram and Maharaj also, they add to that spinning department for South Africa. So their bowling, the plethora of options they have, the bowling department really gives me that confidence that they're going to qualify and they will do well in the World Cup. I always say this about South Africa, magar kabhi-kabhi nahi, har wakht choke kar dete, lekin hopefully at least they get to the semi-finals this time if they make it to the World Cup. Vinesh bhai, thank you so much for joining. Hello, how many times have Killer Miller done this for South Africa? He's such a legend of South Africa. Bavuma is very underrated in ODI and Test. He was a lone warrior against Australia Test series. Indeed, if you look at it, Miller has done this even in the IPL. He's done it for Punjab. He's done it for Gujarat this last season. So, and with South Africa, he's done it multiple times. He's done it against India and India as well. So Miller is someone who has a bag of experience, and he's rejuvenated now. He's really it's the second coming of Miller, the way he's picked up again, because there was a period of time 2-3 years ki unhe nahi perform kar raha tha. He was not giving those level of performances that you expected from him. And towards the fag end of his career, he's picked up again. He's finding those boundaries. He's looking to hit in the V, clearing the ropes, no issues. That confidence is back, the timing is back, and no issues at all. I think also he's improved against the short delivery. वो थोड़ा सा मसला होता था. He always used to be a player who's comfortable in the arc. Whenever it's full, he'll smash it. But वो short delivery, the pull shot and cut shot, he's improved on that in
Yeah, a lot.
particular.
Today at 6, you saw that 6 he pulled. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Brian Lara का game याद है उसमें सब मारते थे. Yeah, that was a
Kadak,
fantastic shot.
Kadak chakka tha wo. So he's really improved on that, and it's great to see that even at this age with that experience, you're still looking to up your game and always being competitive. So and he's going to be a very very big factor, like in this World Cup phase qualification, and if they're in the World Cup, then playing in the
100%.
big games, he's the one who has that.
And in India, he has experience. Yeah, 100%.
We talk about finishers. I think today Kevin Peterson on commentary was actually discussing the topic of finishers. Who are the finishers in India? Maybe you can say Hardik, but these days he's not playing that finisher's role. In Pakistan, who is it? We don't really have one. In Australia, maybe you could say Maxwell, but again, he comes at 4-5 sometimes.
And
So Miller is like a proper finisher. Matlab, he's that guy. He'll come at that position
Shanaka.
and he wins games.
Yeah.
Again, Shanaka, would you consider him as a finisher, or would you you don't know, like if he's
He did finish against Hull, but yeah, I mean, not always winning side, but yeah, he has been there till the end. मुस्तफा भाई मेरा ट्वीट देखो, कल का बमूमा की बेस्ट इनिंग्स आने वाली है, आपको इंस्टा में स्क्रीनशॉट भेजा है मैन.
देखूंगा नितिन भाई, देखूंगा. Great stuff. अगर आप ये करें तो great stuff. Very good call. I think a lot of people were doubting Bavuma, मगर जो तरीके से खेला उन्हें आज, जो confidence के साथ खेला, it was great. And it was that Nasir Hussain, remember Fez, Nasir Hussain 2002 Lords against India, that famous Mohammad Kaif Yuvraj Singh match. Yeah, it was that kind of celebration from Bavuma, and I was very happy from him, man. Very fluent and very good batting. I always believed Bavuma has so much talent, but it's true. He doesn't deserve to play T20, but in ODI and Test, such a class player. His form coming back from South Africa versus South Africa in T20 World Cup. You also have to understand how much pressure is on him, because kya hota malum. You think when he doesn't perform Fez, like in particular situations like the T20 World Cup, they start talking about the the color issue and saying that okay, he has to play because he makes the quota system and all that, and that puts a lot of pressure on an individual. He's just there because of the quota, that he doesn't deserve to be there. But today he's shown, and in this series so far, that he's a very good captain, and he just had a bad patch. He's a very good batsman as well. Of course, I think he's limited as a batsman. There are still weaknesses that he has, and it'll be exposed on challenging pitches. You have to remember also, this was a very flat pitch. It was a good pitch to bat on, especially in the second innings. He has weaknesses. He's not the most complete batsman, but there's a reason why he's there in the team. He does have the skill. He can soak up the pressure, and he can play spin well as fast bowling. So to prove himself like that, it's a big sense of relief for Bavuma.
Yeah, 100%. And I think also that's the reason that his teammates back him, because they know his ability, right? अगर आपको कैप्टन में believe नहीं रहा तो आप पहले फेंक देते उसको. But belief factor ने create करा. I've seen a lot of his interviews, and the way he handles media is always a positive guy. He always says that we're going to do better, we're more we're unit. He doesn't call out anyone in the media. He knows how to handle the tough questions, makes the tough calls. देखो भाई, even in the T20 World Cup आप देख लो, apart from the first match where I think Zimbabwe का washout हुआ था इन लोगों का, none of them really stood up for South Africa. And I mean, obviously it's easy to pick out the captain कि भाई captain नहीं करा, and that's completely agreed with. But also you have to look at the other South African players around him that weren't performing at the levels expected. And then against Australia, he did come back strong. I think Vinesh Bhai and me also had a few conversations around this on the podcast where we were talking about how Temba Bavuma was standing up. 38 was probably he was the only one, but 38 of like 100 balls. Him and Zondo had a decent partnership in the second or the first test. Even in the third test, he was the only one who stood out along again with Zondo. So it's been a long time for him. You could see the shots in him. You could see कि भाई बंदे में है कुछ. And आज जो तरीके के shots खेला, he pulled it, he drove it, he hit everything. And I wasn't shocked that this guy was playing like this, because दिख रहा था कि भाई है spark इसमें कुछ तो भी. So yeah, it's been a long time, but I just hope he prolongs it rather than a one match wonder kind of thing.
So we'll just take some comments.
So, but do you think women's cricket will catch up in India in the near future, and people take them seriously, especially with the 4,700 crores raised from the for the franchises?
Talks up. First of all, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your question. Really appreciate it. आप मेरे को भाई मत बोलिए, मैं छोटा हूँ शायद आपसे, या बड़ा भी हूँ, तो भाई मत बोलिए, आप बहुत बड़े मेरे imagination में मेरे से. तो You can call me whatever you like. Call me Mustafa, call me Musti, call me baby, whatever you like. But this question is a very good question. And I think the answer to this, that it will catch up 100%. I'm waiting for this World Cup. If India make it to the final and they beat like Australia, like, so for example, in the last over or something like that, it will catch up immediately. And then the IPL will be, packed attendance, full attendance, and there'll be a lot of crowd. And these people will be heroes. These girls will be heroes, and I'm 100%. It's already picked up. If you notice,
Yeah.
in the last 5-6 years, for example, you take Faiz, for example. He didn't know, like, who Deepti Sharma was a few months ago. Now he knows who, and I'm just giving his example because I know him personally. There's a lot of people like that who did not know, women's cricketers. Now everybody knows Shefali Verma, who she is, because she's won the under 19 World Cup championship. Even if you didn't see the game, you've seen the post, you've seen ki bhai, she's there with the trophy. So I think if they win this Women's World Cup, even if they get close, I think it will pick up the women's cricket. And also, it's very interesting if you look at it. Especially when you see the likes of Australia, England, you see some very good cricket matches. You see some very good performances, and I'm 100% that it's going to pick up in the future. And this is the time, though. If India win the T20 World Cup and then you have the IPL straight away with the auction,
That'd be something else. Yeah.
that will be the time. And even if India don't win, I'll tell you something, it will pick up because of the amount of money invested in the IPL. It will
Exactly.
100% pick up. There will be a lot because the way they brand these girls is going to be also a thing. RCB, Mandana, it's going to be the way they're going to market that, like like how they're going to present the
Women
teams.
empowerment and stuff like that.
And
Yeah,
all that,
exactly.
it's going to pick up. And these it's a very it's a fun tournament to watch. The Women's World Cup, it's always a fun tournament to watch, and they're also improving. The more people are watching, there's more pressure on them, there's more crowds, they're soaking up the pressure. पहले women's game में कौन आके देखते थे? अब full capacity MCG था 80-90,000 2020 में Australia versus India T20 World Cup final. वो pressure कभी था नहीं पहले. Now they have that they've experienced that, they're understanding it. There's already a lot of interest around the world, and mind you, also women's IPL, there's women's game is also very popular in Australia and England. These fans will also come to India and watch as well. You'll see that. You'll see a lot.
And also the fact that it's not like as one-sided as the men's. You could say men में 4-5 superstars को आप डाल दिए एक टीम में, अरे फोड़ रख देते. It's not going to be like that because everybody. एक ज़माने में था Australia were light years ahead, but like you said, England, India, and all of these guys have caught up very quickly.
मगर अभी है वो, like Australia is still way ahead.
Again, लेकिन वो team बटेगा ना, the bits that happens, I think there'll be a lot of shifting and shuffling, right? So I mean, there's not going to be a one-sided team that you see because everybody more or less would be on that same level. You might have like a Beth Mooney or an Alisa, and here इधर-उधर चले जाने वाले. It's not like everybody's going to be in the same. तो वो देखने में मजा आने वाला है.
But I think the men's game is actually way more like open right now. We don't know who the best team in the world is right now. Of course, you can say England and everything, but they also have they lost to South Africa 2-0 right now. Whereas I think women's cricket, Australia is far ahead of the teams. It's just now the other teams are picking up. Of course, they will compete. But if you look at player for player, Australia is on another level. Yes, I agree. If the cricket skill set of players increases, I think the viewership will eventually rise. And also, look, these guys are, investing more, so the skills will increase. The popularity is increasing. They're taking it more seriously now because it's a full-time sport for them. Before women's cricket, there's not much interest. So paisa bhi nahi banta tha. Ab paisa ban raha, so they're going to practice more. There's going to be more tournaments. There's going to be more series. It's going to be more competitive. Basically, for example, televising a simple game, Pakistan versus Australia, bilateral in Australia, televising that here in the Middle East, that's big for the women's game. We're watching the game आराम से TV पे. ये होता था 6-7 साल पहले नहीं होता था. So even the bilateral viewerships are increasing. The World Cup though will go off the charts in this World Cup. That's what I think is going to break the records in this World Cup, and then the IPL you'll see as well. And also वो drama भी रहेगा of just before the World Cup you'll have the auction. तो वो drama भी रहेगा. People say अरे इसको इतने करोड़ दिए थे. So people will take more interest there.
Yeah.
Team owners will take interest. They will watch. Viewer वहाँ से बढ़ेगा. People who are employed as analysts, they'll have to watch the women's game. People who are in the medical team, they will anyway have to watch. So there'll be more jobs, but those people are also watching the game. So of course, I think it'll pick up 100%. We can take a few more comments.
मार्करम जीतने के टाइम पे आउट कर जाता है, पूरा मैच मिलर पे आ जाता है, बट वही तो है ना, मिलर का काम ही वही है खत्म करने का. एंड आई थिंक मार्करम अनलकी था. बट या वो क्रूशियल इनिंग्स थी उसकी 43 जो मारा उन्हें बीच में. आई थिंक एवरीबॉडी कंट्रीब्यूटेड टू द साउथ
लेकिन
अफ्रीकन
मैं
विन.
सहमत हूँ अंशुल भाई के साथ. भाई आप जब सेट हो जाते स्पेशली वो पिच पे, यू हैव टू मेक इट काउंट. एंड मार्करम हैज दिस इशू ऑफ नॉट फिनिशिंग गेम्स एट टाइम्स एंड थोड़ा इनकंसिस्टेंट हो जाता उन्हें. तो व्हेन ही सेट लाइक दैट, यू एक्सपेक्ट अ प्लेयर लाइक दैट टू कंप्लीट. मार्करम इज अ वेरी टैलेंटेड बैटर मैन. ही शुड बी वे अहेड ऑफ राइट नाउ. हिज स्टैट्स शुड बी मच बेटर देन दे आर राइट नाउ. बहुत टैलेंटेड लड़का है. उन्हें अंडर 19 कैप्टन भी था उन्हें लाइक 6-7 साल पहले. बहुत अच्छा प्लेयर है. एंड आई थिंक दीज आर द सिचुएशंस वेयर यू वांट हिम टू go and score 100 or at least finish off the game. I agree over there. I understand that it's Miller's job and everything, but why, when you're set, why give it to somebody else?
आज 2 लाख आते आते बच्चे यार. मिलर ने था यार, ट्वीट करूंगा आज आपको टैग करके. 2 लाख आ जाना था ना भाई. आप जो प्रिडिक्ट करे थे बहुमा के तो भी आ जाते थे सेंचुरी मार रहा है बोल के. आई डोंट नो हाउ इट वर्क्स, बट इसलिए बोलते ड्रीम 11 कैन बी एडिक्टिव. देख समझ के खेलिए अपने फिरते पे. ड्रीम 11 में मेरा कैप्टन बहुमा ही था. ओहो क्या बात है. अफ्रीका को लिंडे की जगह बनाना चाहिए. बैटिंग को डेप्थ मिलेगी और एक अच्छा बॉलर मिलेगा महाराज को निकाल के.
Yeah, good observation over there. I mean, Nitin bhai follow South Africa, तो
आज क्या बहुमा को क्या पता था क्या कि लास्ट में तक जाएगा जब भी मार को खिलाया है.
हाँ देखो, लाइक मे बी ही रेड द पिच की भाई ये हाई स्कोरिंग हो सकता है एंड यू नीड मोर बैटिंग डेप्थ. एंड बिल्कुल ही probably took that option. Also Marco gives you that extra height, so if there's any bounce there to extract, he can extract that. And he bowled well initially, so yeah, of course. There was a particular over, I think it was in the 44th over, that Nokia bowled. Nokia was slightly expensive throughout the game, but I think the 44th 50 usme he just gave one run, bro. That was also a great over because it was against the run of play. And that's when you probably thought Sam Curran Moeen Ali slow kar de rahe, but that was a very good over. He was nailing those Yorkers. He bowled a couple of very good shots.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. The one he bowled to Sam. Yeah.
That was a key over as well. And then Marco backed that up with a 3-run over as well. So those 2 overs in the last 10 were the key in this kind of pitch, because you saved what? I think 20 runs there easily. Like you could have got 20 in those 2 overs the way Butler was going.
आज तो मनोज भाई को चिढ़ना है. इंग्लैंड को घर में हराया, इंग्लैंड को अफ्रीका ने अफ्रीका में हराया. सब भाई एक्सेप्ट करो इंस्टा में. सब भाई अभी क्या
मैं इंस्टाग्राम पे हमारे फैज भाई ज्यादा एक्टिव रहते हैं मेरे से. मैं ज्यादा ट्विटर पे एक्टिव रहता हूँ, लेकिन हाँ मैं एक्सेप्ट कर दूंगा. मैं इंस्टाग्राम उतना नहीं है मेरे पास, उतने फ्रेंड्स नहीं है जैसा फैज के पास है. तो फैज के पास हर वक्त इंस्टाग्राम पे कोई ना कोई मैसेज करते रहता, तो उन्होंने ज्यादा एक्टिव है. मगर हाँ मैं एक्सेप्ट कर दूंगा जब ये मैं देखा. यस आई एग्री, वी टुक दिस. Australia are way stronger than any other team, but it's only India or specifically Harmanpreet who can challenge and beat them.
I was talking in my thing. I was talking about the IPL more or less because the question was pertinent to IPL in the 4700 crore. Obviously, women's cricket will develop, but for me, the IPL wise, if I'm looking at it, that is what I'm going to see.
But the team is not set right now in IPL. How do you know if it's going to be even or not?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Australia to batting in my sense, the main team in terms of Australia is the strongest they bowler. It's not like every Australian is going to be in one team, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's going to be more or less an equal tournament to watch. One thing, new hai, you don't know what.
For example, what if Alisa Healy, Talia Magra, and Smriti Mandhana in one team, then unequal ho jata. That
12 crore के पर्स में कितना ही खरीदेंगे आप?
वो बोलते, but I think कुछ ना कुछ कभी we don't know unless we see the team. It'll be easier to know when the auction happens.
I'm just anticipating it, obviously, right? In terms of a naya tournament, so you have a lot of other expectations. Guys, please, मार्को यासन की तारीफ करो यार, कितना अच्छा कर रहा है वो. कैमरन ग्रीन एंड मार्को क्या ऑलराउंडर है ये. इंडिया में पांड्या कभी नहीं. आज जिता दिया ना भाई. आज तो था ना भाई एंड तक. बट नहीं, आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट यू आर सेइंग. कैमरन ग्रीन फिनोमिनल.
बच भाई वो रन आउट देखे क्या इजी ले लिया भाई रन आउट पांड्या. वो that was bro, the one direct hit and the game would have फिर से पलट जाता था. It was what 4 of 3 at that time.
But सूर्या नहीं हुआ था. उन्हें आया भी जब सूर्या एकदम भाग गया था पागलों जैसे एकदम से. तो the first ball or second ball that went in behind the wicket keeper, he started
that
running.
was different. उसके बाद जब उन्हें सीधा mid on को खेला and then he was just left stranded, he was jogging. And they missed the direct run out, man. उन्हें तो आउट जाना था जब ये पांड्या.
But बिल्कुल क्रेडिट तो है कैमरन.
कमेंट से मैं बिल्कुल 100% अग्री करता हूँ। आप देखो साउथ अफ्रीका में कैसे ऑलराउंडर्स डेवलप होते जाते हैं। पहले प्रिटोरियस था, उसके साथ उन्हें रिटायर हो गया, अभियान सेन आ गया, उससे पहले कौन था यार, वो क्रिस मॉरिस था, कोई ना कोई आते रहता है। वो लेवल्स अलग रहते हैं, आई एग्री, मगर एटलीस्ट टीम में रहते, दे कंट्रीब्यूट टू द टीम एंड दे विन गेम्स। इंडिया ओनली हैव वन मीडियम पेस ऑलराउंडर, मैन। हाउ मेनी टाइम्स we keep discussing this, but it is a problem.
दोनों मुस्तफा भाई 49 ओवर में से में सेट पेटलर के सामने मार्को ने 4 रन दिया था
वो वाला, हाँ जी, सॉरी मैं कंफ्यूज हो गया बहुत
I
क्रिकेट
don't
आज।
think we will see big buys in women IPL. They only have 12 crore purse. Exactly, like that's my similar thought process. Ibrahim bhai, where I see कि 12 crore के purse में आप कितने उनके ले सकते? And obviously the way I mean, if you're looking at a commercial perspective or marketing perspective, people would want to buy one big star. Like if you see एक में स्मृति चली जाएंगी, एक महीने चले जाएंगे, एक महीने चले जाएंगी, तो 5 ही टीम है, and yeah, I think that's how it's going to be. And
Also,
on
it
basis of that
depends
is
on,
what I'm saying.
it also depends on the team chemistry. Like for example, the first IPL, right? I would have never thought Rajasthan Royals will win it. If you see, they were the weakest team. If you look at the auction, we didn't know who Trivedi was, who was Asnotkar. We didn't know any of this. Like
No
I
one
don't
knew
know
that.
if you knew. I had no clue about these people. So ये भी हो सकता है, right? Like in T20 cricket in general, whatever whoever is playing with the women or the gents, it could also be about team chemistry. Who gels the more. Maybe if there is particular chemistry in one group, they could be far superior. Then it also depends on form. For example, this year Butler was in magnificent form. He took Rajasthan single-handedly to the final. I mean, this last year. So it IPL में अलग-अलग रहता है. Even if you have a very strong team, doesn't mean you're going to win the IPL, right?
Now I know it's been a long time. अभी अपन डिस्कस नहीं करें इंडिया न्यूजीलैंड के बारे में ज्यादा, पर मुस्तफा इंडिया न्यूजीलैंड का मैच का क्या बनाते हैं आप? आई नो द पिच वाज अ ट्रिकी वन, अनएक्सपेक्टेड टर्न। ग्लेन फिलिप्स को तो कैसा दिख रहा था कि उन्हें मुथाया मुरलीधरन है उस पिच पे, नेक्स्ट लेवल टर्न मिल रही थी। डू यू सी दिस पिच एज वन दैट यू डोंट माइंड, और वन दैट अरे भाई कैसा बना दिया पिच?
I absolutely don't mind it. It allowed the likes of Deepak Huda and Glenn Phillips to enjoy their time as part timers. And so many times these main spinners get smashed all over the ground. If a part timer is being able to restrict the economy, like why not, man? It's part of the game. Like I understand that you don't want a pitch like this every single time, and it could be boring at times. It could be as a batsman you feel thing. But to say that this pitch is ridiculous, I think that's extreme. Because what about the pitches where you can hit 250, where the strike rate is like 200 for a batsman? What about those pitches? You're okay with those just because it's entertaining and the sixes are going? No, I think it can't always be a batter's game. If the bowlers have some purchase, it's okay. Even if it's a T20, I know that you want to see runs and that's why the crowd is there. But once in a while, I have no problem.
One thing that I didn't get in the postman presentation, obviously he was calling out the curators based on the situation. Probably 1-0 हार रहे थे, maybe was upset. But आप situations में डालना ही चाह रहे टीम को and you want to play tough cricket, you should have not minded this. And देखो भाई, it adds a good twist. As a viewer also, I was interested at his 100 का टारगेट भी ऐसा क्रूशल तक लेके चले गए. Obviously एक तरीके से आप देखते अरे क्या यार 100 रन नहीं मार सकते, लेकिन जिस तरीके बोलिंग आप न्यूजीलैंड की देखो, कमेंडेबल है भाई. किस तरीके से उन्हें लाया, उन्हें चैपमैन को ढूंढ के लाया, उन्हें फिलिप्स को ढूंढ के लाया, उन्हें it was fun to watch as
मेरे को ये सरप्राइजिंग दिखा what you mentioned is कि भाई उन्हें तो तैयार था हार्दिक. He had 3 spin, he got in Chahal for Umran. He knew that what the pitch is going to offer. So I don't know what he was surprised about or why he commented. He knew it's going to be a ranked runner and the team selection was outstanding. तारीफ करना चाहिए उसका. Like as the captain, he got the team selection bang on. So I don't know why he's complaining about it. It's okay. Like it worked on his favor, right? At the end, they won the game. I know it became close and everything, but you have to give Santner and New Zealand a lot of credit for it to go the last over. It's not just the pitch. If you notice in the Ferguson over, उन्हें third man कैसा fine लेके गया वो time पे, and it could have easily been a boundary where Hardik slashed and thing. There's a couple of it could have been 2 or 3 boundaries where it was stopped because the fine leg was shifted over there. So fine leg.
Last over maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so it was the captaincy there. New Zealand took it to the last over there. Yes, it was not an easy pitch to bat on. I agree. उसमें 2 रन आउट है भाई. वो तो पिच की क्या गलती है? 2 रन आउट है आपके उसमें.
Chandra का तो बहुत बुरा था.
ठीक है, like India actually bowled really well. They got the wickets and everything. You guys, you committed harakiri in those run outs. So I don't think like it wasn't. You have to give credit to New Zealand, but also your batsmen, need to call better. When Hardik came in as well, he told Surya, just give me one clear call and thing. I like that. I like him telling him clearly कि भाई
मैं नहीं करूंगा, मैं शुरू हो जाऊंगा, something he was saying on the stump
yeah,
कि
he's
हम
like मैं नहीं
अपने
रुकूंगा, मैं चले
मैं
जाऊंगा
नहीं
सीधा,
रुकूंगा, मैं नहीं
एक कॉल
रुकूंगा.
दो. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know why उसमें से 2 रन आउट थे. Yeah, it was a difficult pitch, but bro, it's cricket. You have to play on different kind of pitches.
Yeah, and that's what like मेरे को वही बात है भाई, you want to put situation, and I think it was a good way, and I liked how he rotated the bowler also from an Indian
Yeah,
perspective.
outstanding.
एंड में आके उन्हें शिवम मावी को दे दिया एक ओवर, एंड दैट इज द
Hmm.
सिचुएशन दैट ही वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट. आई वांट टू पुट देम इन सच सिचुएशन. आई रिस्पेक्ट दैट. तो 19th ओवर 18th ओवर उसको दे रहे, फर्स्ट ओवर है उसका, कोई बात नहीं मैन, ही बॉल्ड स्टुपेंडसली, एंड अर्शदीप मैन बैक इन द थिंग. So it is not a T20 pitch, when I get it, but I think you cannot
What do you
expect
define
always the
T20
pitch to.
pitch?
Yeah,
Like,
what
what
is
is it?
T20? Just want to see sixes, 6 sixes, 8 sixes, and bowler को
How?
फेंकी तो बाहर. आप bowler है, आप ये बात बोले तो कैसा bowler? आप bowler है, so it's more like shocking to me. I'm sorry, but like I'm being very
First, it took
critical.
you 44 minutes and 40 seconds to finally get in form. Thanks to Vinny, finally your form, and it's going to be a fun rest of the
So
show.
मैं जिस तरीके से देख रहा हूँ कि भाई, I don't get it.
बिल्कुल.
Like you should definitely respect the curator's work. It's not an easy job. And bhai, every day not going to be a Sunday. Today was a Sunday, but every day is not going to be a thriller Sunday. And it made the match all more interesting, man. You could see Chahal, Kuldeep in action, Washington Sundar in action, Santner in action. You could and gives you can understand भाई, कल को ऐसा पिच आया तो भाई ऐसी भी टीम खिलाना पड़ता. और ऐसा बॉलिंग कार्ड देखो, बैटिंग की लाइनअप देख, इतने बॉलर्स डाले आज. आई थिंक अबाउट कितने 6 तो डाले होंगे इन लोगों के साइड से ईच.
Yeah, and look, I understand it might get demerit points, it might have this and that, but to say that you can't have pitches like this, I think it's too extreme. Because if you can have pitches where teams are hitting 400, 500 in a 50-over game, and smashing every bowler, I think the spinners or the fast bowlers have every right to get a pitch once in a while where they can get the opposition all out, and the opposition can come and also get them all out. Like have a pitch like that where it's a low scoring thriller. You have to keep the bowlers interested as well, man. कितना अगर batsman को favor करेंगे
भाई बॉलर के लिए आप क्या रूल निकाल रहे हैं? जस्ट टू मेक इट इवन कॉन्टेस्ट. आई थिंक देयर वाज अ रूल दैट वाज गोइंग ऑन लास्ट मंथ में, चल रहा था ये कि भाई अगर आप ओवर थ्रो कर रहे हो, इंटेंट देखेंगे वो ओवर थ्रो का. अगर विकेट की तरफ मार रहे तो इट्स नॉट गोना बी रन्स, जो भी वो रन्स लेते, समथिंग लाइक दैट. बट इट्स गोना बी हार्ड. अगर हर चीज अगर आप लाके गोद में दे दिए बैट्समैन की, तो देन भाई कुछ भी नहीं. हर विकेट को फ्लैट बनाओ, हर विकेट को लाइक 200 का विकेट बनाओ और खेलो. फिर मजा ही क्या है फिर भाई? वेयर इज द ड्रामा? वेयर इज द सीख किसने मिलने वाली है कुछ आपको? सूर्या स्ट्रगल्ड इन द बिगिनिंग. अगर आप देखो, सूर्या वाज नॉट एबल टू गेट, एंड देन अगर फास्ट बॉलर की तरफ से देखें तो लॉकी फर्गसन का ओवर कितना क्रूशियल था, वो भी जबरदस्त डाला हमने.
Pitch condition made different for different formats. In case you didn't know, why should it be? It shouldn't be.
Yeah, but pitch is just a surface where you play cricket on. It's not supposed to be format oriented. It's supposed to be play according to the pitch. You play according to the pitch and you formulate your team according to the pitch based on tactics and strategy.
अब वो जिम्बाब्वे पाकिस्तान का जो पिच था वो फास्ट बॉलर्स को सपोर्ट कर रहा था. आई थिंक इट वाज अ लो स्कोरिंग गेम एज वेल. 120 130 डिफेंड कर रहे थे, राइट? जिम्बाब्वे अब वो बोलेंगे
and that's how you make a team. That's how you strategize. ये मेरे बेस्ट है. आज कई को निकाला फिर उन्होंने उमरान चहल को, because he knew it's going to be a turner.
उसको मालूम था, and he was prepared for it, and it's fine. It's not like it's going to be a pitch like this every single game. I'm not saying कि रोज वो करो. क्या बोलते हैं? सो यहाँ पे क्या बोले? चहल का कोई कमेंट था. I understand there were so many left-handers, but Chahal should have bowled more.
Finished his thing because he was bowling phenomenal. 2 runs I think of his 2 overs or something. He was next level form. अच्छे उसमें दिख रहा था, but I think I don't mind my 99 के total के बाद भी I won't be too critical because I think he bowled Deepak Hooda complete over, which was required and which was necessary at that point of time. The spinners were getting more drift, and I think I'm happy at least Deepak Hooda got 4 because next match में कैसा भी I think Chahal अब खेलने वाला है. That is also why I think
it's a rule. I'm saying it shouldn't be a rule. That's what I'm saying.
It's a rule. I get it, but it was not like it was something that caught you by surprise. Like अरे भाई ये बिल्कुल ही zero के. And भाई अब 99. अच्छा मैं एक बात बोलता हूँ हार्दिक पर्सपेक्टिव. हार्दिक के पर्सपेक्टिव से एक 99 जब तक था तेरे मुंह पे स्माइल थी. जब तुम्हारे विकेट ना गिरने लगे तो तुम्हारी फट गई. तो that's not fair, man.
वो नागपुर में याद है 2016 में इंडिया वर्सेस न्यूजीलैंड T20 वर्ल्ड कप कितना डिफेंड करे न्यूजीलैंड. 118 119 कुछ डिफेंड करे थे. वो भी रैंक टर्नर था नागपुर में. धोनी कंप्लेंट हियर एंड देयर अ बिट व्हाटएवर, बट दे डिडंट गिव they didn't take the points back from New Zealand took the points and went. It's going to happen sometimes in cricket in the different conditions. You will have a testing thing, and whether it's a rule or not, it's whatever, man. It shouldn't be like that. You should accept pitches pitches like this. They're
भाई
like,
क्या
come on.
न्यूजीलैंड सीरीज हारने के डर से ऐसी पिच बनवाई है क्या? ये अच्छा सवाल है, बट आई डोंट थिंक, देखो जिस तरीके के हार्दिक कमेंट्स इन लोगों को भी पता नहीं था, बट देखो आप जब खेलते आप थोड़ा जब आके पिच देखते तो आपको एक अंदाजा हो जाता है भाई ये पिच क्या करने वाली है, एंड आप वो इंस्पेक्शन जो करते हैं आप या आपके कोच जो करते हैं उसके हिसाब से आप टीम बनाए, आप खेलो, प्ले आउट द गेम एंड सी व्हाट द रिजल्ट यू गेट. Be confident in your team's ability. Don't just call it. Yeah, if it's something unorthodox like गैबा वैबा रहा तो मैं समझ सकता हूँ, अरे भाई ये तो अलग ही चीज है, बट ये इतना भी ऐसा नहीं था. आप you could have slowed your game and played. You don't have to go. शुभमन गिल कैसा आउट हुआ, फिर पुल शॉट पे आउट हुआ, 2 तो रन आउट हुआ जैसे मुस्तफा बोला. सो इट वाज, आप अपने पैर पे भी कुल्हाड़ियां मारे, ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई पिच के वजह से एवरीथिंग हैपेंड. You could have played according to the pitch as well. And अपन जिस तरीके से क्लेम करते हैं कि स्पिन प्लेइंग नेशन है, you should have played much better, I think. फीलिंग सैड फॉर केएल राहुल, ऐसा लखनऊ पिच में खेलेगा तो ऑरेंज कैप. ऑरेंज कैप तो डेविड भाई लेके लिया थे. हार्दिक की कैप्टनसी समझ के बाहर है. चहल को ओवर पूरे नहीं कराया, अपने ओवर पूरे करने में लगता है. नहीं, दीपक हुडा को भी जो ने बैक करा, आई लाइक्ड इट. मैंने मुस्तफा, व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स ऑन दैट Chahal 2 over thing?
I'll tell you now who gave that last comment over KL Rahul. You don't need to bring it up.
Sai bhai.
That is the comment of the stream. I really love that comment. हार्दिक की comment. तो look, मेरे को पता नहीं उन्हें like पंटर भी पूछ रहे हैं कि why didn't Chahal finish his quota? Like I only Hardik can give you the answer over there. But in my opinion, probably the reason was because of the left-handers there on the crease. That's why he opted for Huda and Washington to complete the overs. And then in the end, in the death bowling, maybe he didn't trust a spinner. His philosophy was the fast bowler should come, nail his yorkers, and don't, even if it's a turning pitch, don't give the spinners. Honestly,
and it worked out.
It worked out. Honestly, he could have given Chahal the 18th, 19th over. I think he would have still done a very good job.
Maybe he was apprehensive वो अक्षर के साथ जो हुआ था. फिर remember अक्षर को भी उन्हें.
Yeah, exactly. अक्षर को जब देते हम लोग सब मैच अड़ गया था उस पे. तो I honestly don't have a problem with like what he did. You won the game in the end of the day, right? You restricted the 100, and also look at this team, bro. This team is less experienced than the New Zealand team. Yes, New Zealand are missing a couple of key players. Like this Indian team is, after like they're filling some big shoes. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. So I think they did a good job. Even if they lose this series, I don't have a big problem. There is some bright spots there. For me, Washington Sundar, the way he bowled in the power play, brilliant. It was very good. Hardik is learning every game. He still will have flaws in his captaincy. Any Indian captain will have flaws, but he's learning. Like he didn't give the spinner the last over with the bat as well. When he came in, like he had a calm face on him, and he told Surya, we'll take it one step at a time. They never panicked. So I think there is positives over here, and you're playing against a good New Zealand team. I think it's all good, man.
चलो, सूर्या ने कंडीशन को रिस्पेक्ट दी, अपने कंडीशन के हिसाब से खेला या गुड बैट्समैन की काबिलियत होती है. आई मीन सूर्या कुमार का यही मैं चीज बोलूंगा कि भाई नाउ इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि भाई एवरी टाइम तोड़ मरोड़ के नहीं खेल सकते आप. कभी कभी आपको रिस्पेक्ट करना पड़ता कंडीशन है. ये देख लो आप, ये पिच पे जिस तरीके से इट आस्क्ड टू कॉल, ही हैड टू आल्सो घुटने टाकना पड़ा सूर्या कुमार को, राइट? तो आप पिच के हिसाब से भी खेलना चाहिए कभी. आप बस मैं आई मी माई सेल्फ बोले तो नहीं होता भाई.
Also, he tried to play his shots fast. He just got beaten. So when you get that reality check कि भाई नहीं हो रहा मेरे pitch, then you have to become defensive. I don't think he wanted to become defensive. He was forced to. It was more like he didn't have a choice because it was.
You have to also realize that and not be egoistic about it and go and smash. That's what I liked about him. He understood it, and like you said, and he just played according to the situation. नहीं फैज भाई, बॉलर को आप 80 मीटर की बाउंड्री दे दो, वो खुद अच्छा कर लेंगे. बट ये बाउंड्रीज उतने बड़े नहीं थे, राइट मुस्तफा? आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, द बाउंड्रीज वर decent. It wasn't that big of a ground.
बड़े नहीं थे लखनऊ में, लेकिन ये भी है कि like it's not like even if you had a 60-meter pitch on this ground, 60-meter ground on this pitch, it'll still be hard to clear because the ball is turning this much. It's not easy to hit sixes even in a small boundary. So I think the bowlers did have that advantage today.
I always said Ishan Kishan has a problem with strike rotation, and he'll also not working it. But Gill's not T20 material. I'm happy with the pitch, but it was too much. This is problem of today's batter. They cannot. ईशान किशन, यस, वेरी शॉकिंग रन आउट. आई थिंक वो जॉगिंग द फर्स्ट रन, उसके बाद उनको क्या कि पेशाब आया है तो उन्होंने दूसरे तरीके में भागना चाह रहे थे और उन्होंने खुद ही
इंटेंट नहीं
आउट
था
हो.
लाइक पहले से, या
पागल
रन.
दिखा मेरे को वो पॉइंट, बिल्कुल पागल दिखा कि उन्होंने कैकू की एकदम से सेकंड लेने गए. देयर वाज नो प्रॉब्लम एंड अगेन ही स्टोक्ड अ लॉट ऑफ डिलीवरीज लाइक मुस्तफा हैज बीन ऑन हिम. ही डिड स्टोक अ लॉट ऑफ डिलीवरी हियर, बट मेरे को उससे भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं था क्योंकि सिचुएशन कंट्रोल में थी. आप वो रन आउट करे, दैट अपने आप से ही करे. एंड शुभमन गिल का अगेन अक्रॉस द लाइन. अब क्वेश्चन ये होता है मेरे हिसाब से मुस्तफा, वुड पृथ्वी शॉ गेट दैट लास्ट ओडीआई और नॉट, सॉरी लास्ट T20I or not? Because he I think he'll deserve it based on the last two results from Ishan Kishan and Shubman Gill. They right now they both don't deserve to be in the team. Yeah, in the performances, not overall bowler, based on these two performances in this season.
I too would have played Prithvi Shaw from the first T20. Will
Yeah,
he
I
get
mean,
a chance? Will the management do it? It's a 50-50 call. I really don't have the answer if they're going to play, because there's two sides to the story. One is that Rahul Dravid lambi rasi dete, he wants to back his players and play them the whole series. The other thing is that if you someone is actually not performing, we've seen changes happen as well. We've seen changes in the middle of a World Cup. For example, Dinesh Karthik and Rishabh Pant getting swapped around, in the T20 World Cup. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen. The selection always confuses me. I always wanted Prithvi Shaw. I told you play him instead of Shubman Gill. I'm not going to be too critical again, on Shubman Gill. But yes, Ishan Kishan, I will be critical. He has to improve, man. Over here, Fasto was just trying to put him in the test team, and rightly so. Like, I'm not trying to, like for like replacement. And I like that argument that you put. I'm not like trying to make fun of you there. I
no, no,
do
I know
make.
what you mean.
But now, bro, he's lost it completely. He's struggling on.
See, I still feel like he's a confident lad. He just needs a few, runs under his belt. 200 में वो maturity
But
बताया
first,
है ना.
this is this problem we've seen in the IPL also last year. It's not a problem, it's
Maybe the
not just a
T20
bad
format is
patch of form.
suiting him. Maybe he's a longer format भी कुछ करा नहीं
नहीं यार, वो
honestly.
50 ओवर में भी
Yeah,
फंस गया उन्हें.
50 over में फंस
वैसा
गया
नहीं
है.
है. लाइक उन्हें बांग्लादेश में एक अच्छा पिच पे डबल 100 मार दिया, मगर जब थोड़ा सा जूस रहता बॉलर के लिए, वेदर इट्स अ स्पिनर और
Yeah,
फास्ट बॉलर, उन्हें स्ट्रगल कर रहा, in tough conditions. Shubman Gill, still I rate him highly, but yes, I also agree उसको वनडे और टेस्ट में रखना चाहिए, but he can play in struggling condition, I mean in difficult conditions. That's why I was surprised the way he's getting out.
as
एकदम से बॉल टर्न अंदर हो रहा है, and he's getting उसको वो झटका मिलके उन्हें लूज शॉट खेल ले रहा, मतलब उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा शुभमन गिल को. But I still feel he will be able to adapt, whereas Ishan Kishan, strike rotation, man, where is the strike rotation today? Get out there if you can't do it. I'm joking,
he
but
took a lot of deliveries, but I think the way it stands right now, the form that he's in, I think KL Bharat is looking more likely in that Border Gavaskar test. Then this guy, very honestly, because for me, I still rate him highly. I like his temperament. I like the way he's a positive guy and a person to have around the dressing room. But अगर आप perform नहीं करे, given the opportunities that you've got in this 2023 alone, you've got 2 series under your belt. तो मुश्किल है फिर आपके लिए.
yeah.
एंड आप इस बात पे ध्यान दे रहे हैं जैसे इंडिया प्रेशर सिचुएशन में आता है, कोई ना कोई रन के चक्कर में आउट हो रहा है. एग्जैक्टली नितिन पासी, मैं यही बात कर रहा था कल जब आई थिंक विनय एंड मुस्तफा वर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट हार्दिक पांड्या. मैं ये देख रहा हूँ कि हार्दिक पांड्या इज ट्राइंग टू बी दैट स्टेबलाइजर इन दैट मिडल, वेयर जिधर सूर्य कुमार या समवन डाउन in the downer part of the game, in a T20 format, he's trying to play that stabilizer kind of an innings in case we have a drawback in terms of people losing their wickets. He wants to stay there. I know he's not been effective in that implementation, but it's a process that you have to trust. I think that's all I'm looking at it that way.
No, with me though, Hardik Pandya, I think he needs to go back to his old style. The reason why he's picked in the team was for those big sixes that he used to hit and play aggressive from ball one, and really scare the opposition. That's why he was picked in the Indian team. So I don't think he should change that.
But
I
again,
understand.
so then again, would that happen like a Temba Bhuma kind of an effect where if he doesn't get runs, then you get criticized as a captain as well. So I think maybe that's also a little bit of a very point for
But
him.
देखो उन्हें ये स्टाइल में भी उन्हें बच जा रहा है. Like आज रन आउट हो जाना था उन्हें. Like he should have been clearly out. So like he's getting a bit lucky playing this approach also. He can easily.
Yeah.
There was in the one day there was 2 games where his strike rate was 50-60. He got out with that strike rate. So I rather him get out playing that. I understand where you're coming from, but it's okay. But why do you want Hardik Pandya in the team? You want him as a finisher. You want him to score hit big sixes. That's why you kept him in the team. Who else will do it for you? Washington Sundar is like, yes, he's a very good technical player and everything, but who is your hitter? Who is your finisher? It's this guy. Hardik Pandya. That's what he's in the team for. So why do you want to change his role? Dhoni was afforded. He changed his role because he had Suresh Raina there, Yusuf Pathan there as well. These guys were coming in fresh. Yuvraj Singh could play that role if needed. So they had different options. In this team, there's not as many options in the finisher role.
I guess that's the fun in T20. Sometimes even 250 plus score is easy to chase, and like today, even yeah, exactly, there has to be a balance, and uh, that's what it was all about. You can cry about the pitch, but when you have to play, you just have to play according to the situation. You can't out of the syllabus. कभी कभी सवाल आते हैं आपको जवाब देना पड़ता to pass the
बिल्कुल
exam. So I think वही है. Why
बिल्कुल
ईशान किशन 200 की इनिंग्स पे कितना खेल लेगा या 100%
अभी
हम
तो
समझ
टाइम
गए
है,
सवाल
अभी तो और
अच्छा
खेल
है.
सकता हूँ.
अभी तो ऋषभ पंत की इंजरी की वजह से थोड़ा उसको है. अगर जितेश शर्मा जैसे बच्चों को चांस मिले देन इट विल बी अ क्वेश्चन कि कैसा कितना चांस है. बट अभी ही इज मोर और लेस सेफ. बट जल्दी से जल्दी अगर उन्हें कुछ नहीं करे तो फिर केएल राहुल खत्म बढ़ जाएंगे आगे हर फॉर्मेट.
Remember how we were criticizing Rishabh Pant before कि भाई उसको T20s में नहीं चल रहा but now like अब ईशान किशन के साथ यही हो रहा. अब सैमसन का देखना पड़ेगा. Unfortunately injured हो गया. When this was Samson's chance, I'll be honest with you, in the T20s, but now I think yesterday I saw that he's fit now and hopefully he'll come back soon, but I don't know when the next T20 or one day is, so it'll be time. अभी तो टेस्ट मैचेस पे फोकस
देखो
रहेंगे.
I again the argument that you were saying थोड़े दिन पहले क्या बोले कि छठे पे भी ईशान किशन को लाए, पहले पे भी किशन को लाए. आई थिंक वो चीज चलो ठीक है, बट अभी आप मार ही नहीं रहे कुछ. लाइक आप रन कहीं भी खड़ो आप मार रहे नहीं, आप बहुत ज्यादा डिलीवर. तो वो प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रही होगी? लाइक व्हाट डू यू थिंक? इज इट द change? I don't think it's a change in the system. It's maybe a mental thing. Do you think like abhi all eyes on me, अब ज्यादा मेरे को ज्यादा pressure आ गया? Do you feel it's that, or do you feel it's
So
just
Indian
like
team में तो रहता वो pressure तो रहता, but for me what I'm seeing with Ishan Kishan is that he gets bogged down when there is something there in the pitch and he struggles to he उन्हें मार तोड़ खेलना चाह रहा. He tries to hit every single ball for a boundary and he struggles to rotate the strike and he gets stuck on the crease. When you get stuck on the crease, you'll play a loose shot, you'll get under pressure and you'll get out. That's what's happening with him. When it's a flat wicket, he's still playing the same way, but he's able to score those runs because there's not much there. There's no demons on the pitch to get him out over there. He's allowed to play the free flowing. And I think that's where he'll have to adapt. He'll when it's a tough kind of thing. I think today, like honestly, there was times where I liked how he was gutsing it out. At least he didn't get out early.
yeah, the
But
boundary, square cut boundary, and they're here.
run out, man. Like if he finished with a strike rate of 60 but won the game, I would have been happy with that performance. I'll be honest with you. That run out just like turned me off.
बट यार एक बात बताओ, बात तो है फिनाले ना हार्दिक पांड्या को बहुत मारता है. फिनाले में
आज भी बहुत मारा. ऐसा
unfortunately
पीछे भी लैप भी मारा है.
bowled Chahal as well. Yeah, I mean that you could say Chahal was bowling good, and like you said, Deepak Huda had his quota because of the left-handed.
I think.
I mean, you didn't lose out on much. I think that's the only thing I'm looking at it. You didn't lose out on much as a captain. You took a call. It went. Maybe if it went against you, we would have been in a different situation. But Deepak Huda ko. But then again, I think he's keeping his word. That he said in the press conference, कि मैं Deepak Huda को 4 overs का quota दूंगा, and he's doing it. So I think there are a lot of aspects that he has to look at as a captain also. So I mean, no one is going to miss out. Mustafa ka famous dialogue, you can't make everybody happy. I don't think you can make everybody happy. There's always someone going to lose out. So it's fine. I mean, no damage done. So I don't really see a problem in this decision.
No, what I would say is also, look, you could also say the same thing with Satman. He could have bowled Chapman instead of Ferguson in the second last over. Ferguson ko boundary pad gayi thi, right? Because of the extra pace. He did get hit for the boundary. So in that situation, maybe Chapman, I know he's a part-timer, but maybe he could have given him, that over. Even Ravi Shastri, Danny Morrison were discussing that, but why not? Like, it'd be a wicket-taking option over there. So I felt that you could say the same thing about Satman, although his captaincy was great, and I agree that, the third man thing that Punter mentioned, we did discuss this early on in the show. That third man in specific was great. It saved a lot of boundaries. But you could say the same thing if Chapman bowled, maybe he would have picked up a couple of wickets and put more pressure. But we don't know. Only time would tell if it happened.
अगर आज काइल आज के बाउंड्री में की जगह आउट हो जाता तो मजा आ जाता था. ऑब्वियसली हल्लक में आती थी 3 off 1 या कुछ कोटा हो जाता था. बट आई मीन वाज वेरी हैप्पी टू शो इट गोइंग ओवर द इनर फील्ड के ऊपर से चले गया. सो 4 is a 4 at the end of the day. Sky finishing it off. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Ahmedabad capacity is zabardast hai. I think 120,000, 150,000 कितना है उसका? Capacity 130,000. I mean, Narendra Modi Stadium में final 1-1 at least there's something to play for here now. अब पिच के ऊपर देखना पड़ेगा. सवाल तो बहुत रहने वाले. कल आई थिंक अखबार भर जाएंगे कि पिच क्या T20 की पिच थी, हार्दिक क्या खुद पिच बनाएंगे वगैरह वगैरह. बट या अभी के हिसाब से न्यू टीम है, लॉट ऑफ करेक्शन टू बी मेड एंड राइटफुली सो। गलती जल्दी जल्दी बनाओ, 2023 तक जितने बनाना है बना लो, 2024 में एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं होगा बिकॉज वर्ल्ड कप का साल है, T20 है।
Yes. By the way, Kishan should not be picked in the first 11 for test based on today's keeping. Test match will have turning pitches, and Kishan is going to leak a lot of runs. And also, if you saw the keeping in the one-day series, he did miss some stumping, some catches there, and his Faiz had questioned his keeping. So did I. So I agree with that comment. Vinay Tripathi को big innings चाहिए, जल्दी competition है, नहीं आती तो बाहर हो जाएगा, बिल्कुल सही है. And again, he got off to a start. He should have he played that sweep shot straight to the fielder. When you get a start like that, you expect him to finish it. Surya Kohli सर की सूर्या कोहली सर की कमी है. खान फैज, कैन यू रीड दिस कमेंट प्लीज?
सूर्या कोहली सीनियर की कमी खेलने ही नहीं दे रहा है. आज का फिनिश, क्या उन्होंने ये पिच को रिस्पेक्ट दिया है? सिंगल डबल, ओ मैन वाओ. कॉनवे एंड सूर्या एंड वैंडर डुल्सन ये काफी लेट आए हैं इंटरनेशनल में.
हाँ बिल्कुल, like they've started their careers very late, and that's the competition of international cricket. Even if you go back in time, the likes of Mike Hussey and these guys, the great Australian team, there was so much competition that Mike Hussey made his debut what is 32 33. So it's something that we've seen in the past as well, and we will see it in the future because of the amount of competition. भाई आप दोनों के backgrounds exchange हुए भाई. फैज के कॉल्स रहते हैं ये पूरे, हम तो खाली जी हाँ बोल के जहाँ पे उन्होंने बिठाए हम बैठ जाते हैं भाई. हमको क्या,
आप मेरे सर पे बैठे भाई, सर आंखों पे.
आप बोले तो हम बैठाएंगे सर पे.
रीचिंग करते. catching over, what time you reaching Mustafa?
As soon as we're done we'll reach. Very soon we will reach. सॉरी इनका कमेंट ये था. हाँ, टेस्ट में किसी को मौका मिलना चाहिए, ईशान या केएस भरत. ईशान स्पिन में प्रॉब्लम हो गया. केएस भरत अगर मैं देखा उसका जो इंग्लैंड सीरीज था जहाँ पे उन्हें कीपिंग किया था, वहां पे अश्विन और जडेजा को, आई थिंक अक्षर पटेल को भी कीपिंग किया था. उसने बहुत अच्छे एक स्टंपिंग भी मारी थी, आई थिंक इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन. तो आई थिंक केएस भरत इज अ वेरी गुड कीपर एंड he needs to start. Whether he scored the runs, only time will tell. I'm not sure about his batting right now. I know he hit that famous 6 for RCB last ball जो finish करा था IPL में. मगर for me in Test cricket you need to get your keeper sorted and then the batter, unless you're Rishabh Pant, then it's different. But I think especially in a series like this against Australia, I don't see them taking a risk like that. I think KS Bharat should be tried. भाई औस ने कैंप लगा लिया है सिडनी में, फुल तैयारी में है, बिल्कुल तैयारी में है. And अगर आप देखें Amazon documentary में भी you see the amount of work. We don't know about the other teams. I'm sure they also put in a lot of planning and stuff, but we can see with the Australian team, they have these strategy meetings before the tour. Then when they're on tour, they're always discussing. The captain, the coach have a meeting with the support staff. Then the captain talks to the players as well. बहुत तैयारी करते हैं लोग, and they take their overseas tours very very seriously. I was seeing in the documentary when they toured Sri Lanka, Pakistan, the way they were as a unit and how they were planning for each batsman, each opposition. It was very good to see, and they will be in full mode because they want to. This for them, it's always going to, for Australian team in Test cricket, their final frontier will always be India. Of course, the Ashes there, but in general, historically, they don't do that well in Indian conditions. And again, for Pat Cummins, if he wins a series, this will mean a lot to him. Of course, that coming up, you'll always want to beat England in England. This will probably be his best achievement as captain if he can beat India in India. Pat Cummins.
100% agree with that, because जिस तरीके का दोनों टीम्स अभी situation है in terms of Test cricket, India is also a decent team, but yeah, over the years it's going to be fun to watch Australia versus India. खाली boil होते जा रहा कुछ तो भी है, मजा आने वाली है.
Yeah, थोड़ा controversy भी आना चाहिए. Last time याद है, always whether it's Rishabh Pant and Tim Payne with Kohli and Smith about the brain fade. Yeah, I want to see some action like that. मेरे को controversy बहुत पसंद, so I want to see some action off the field as well like that. Bharat was a sub wicket keeper against New Zealand in 2021. I think that was the series then. मुस्तफा भाई, डाइट कोक भी कितना तगड़ा खेल रहा है आज, एंड क्लासन क्या कीपिंग कर रहा है. तो दोनों कीपर इतने अच्छे हैं. डाइट कोक मतलब क्विंटन डिकॉक.
या रिकॉक तो जबरदस्त है. He's been playing अच्छा खेल रहा है ऐसे T20 में भी एंड 100 क्लास का तो कंसिस्टेंट 30-40 कुछ तो भी आते रहता है. अच्छा दिख रहा है. सनराइजर्स का प्रॉस्पेक्ट भी है. So, yeah, the Sydney pitch had a lot of rough patches as Australia begins preparation for Indian series. That's interesting
I
to know.
wonder how they're going to prepare for Ashwin. I mean, like, I'm sure they've done it in the past already. Smith has played Ashwin in India. Like, and I want to see how they would, like, for the ranked turners, do they have a different sort of preparation? I know for Sri Lanka they did. Like, in India, against this kind of strong opposition, what kind of preparations you'll have for, because you'll have Jadeja, Aksar, and Ashwin potentially. So, आप कैसा खेलेंगे उन लोगों को, क्या drills करने वाले? I want to see the actual drills that they have to prepare. पैट कमिंस ने कहा है आने वाले 10 टेस्ट मैच मेरे कैप्टनसी का टेस्ट होगा. बिल्कुल होगा. ये है पर एशेस है तो इट्स द फॉर हिम इट्स द बिगेस्ट टेस्ट. उसी भाई को भूख लग रही. नहीं भाई मेरे को
डाइट कोक बिकॉज़ यू सेड डाइट कोक.
ओह या नहीं अभी तो नहीं भूख लगी. लगेंगी आई एम श्योर. मेरे से ज्यादा किसी और को लग सकती है. लग रही भूख.
ओवर लग के पहुंच रहे शायद दूसरे वाले.
नहीं वो उनको भूख नहीं है.
नहीं भूख लग रही. मैं कुछ नहीं बोलता भाई.
नहीं भूख लग रही नहीं लग रही ऐसी पूछ रहा हूँ जनरल. हाँ नहीं लग रही
भाई. भूख नहीं लग रही. बट या भूख तो विक्ट्री की है. होपफुली थर्ड T20 आई में विक्ट्री मिल सके इंडिया को एंड वी एबल टू अचीव अनदर टूर्नामेंट अंडर Hardik Pandya's captaincy, which will sort of maybe put the edge. Do you think like these victories in terms of T20 internationals, do you think Hardik Pandya will finally be able to steal the captaincy from Rohit Sharma? I mean, steal is a bad word, but like just because based on what they said that split captaincy में believe नहीं करते हम, what Rahul Dravid said कि मैं split captaincy में believe नहीं करता, Rohit is just off form. Do you think these consistent victories in T20 format would help Hardik like cement his captaincy?
Yes. Because I don't, I told you my opinion. I think that this should be the team going into the World Cup with like changes. If you're going to do like bring a Prithvi in, bring a Sanju Samson in, those kind of changes. What do you call those changes? Matlab like
for like.
Like for like, like in terms of age and experience and all that. I don't think like they should.
Yeah, second time बोल रहे good night in.
Good night. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. भूख तो विक्ट्री की है. स्टेटमेंट ऑफ द डे मेरे हिसाब से स्टेटमेंट उनका था भाई. कौन थे वो? साई भाई
राहुल लखनऊ. केएल राहुल लखनऊ कैप खेलने वाले. बट केएल राहुल मुस्तफा अच्छा चलो ठीक है. बॉर्डर गावस्कर का है अभी अपने को. ईशान किशन is not giving a signs of good wicket keeping. But do you think that I know you are one who would want a proper wicket keeper, but KL Rahul is now wicket keeping. Do you think India would look for that opportunity?
No, he's not going to keep the spinner. He's not going to keep. If he keeps, I won't watch that test match. Like unless there's look, if there's an injury during the game, then he will keep. But he's not going to be the starting keeper. It has to be KS Bharat.
You don't have trust in like movement नहीं संभाल पाएगा वो. 100% spin तो
look, it's not only that. It's also that he's opening the batting. He's already under pressure. He's the vice captain. There's so many responsibilities. You're adding keeping to him. So I don't think it's not going to do him any good. Let him focus on his batting. You tell me, do you need would you do you want KL Rahul to be confused with 5 different things going on in his brain, or just focus on his batting and at least score 50-60 runs in the first test match, first innings?
I think in a T20 World Cup he was nothing like, so he was still confused. But yeah, I know what you mean. I don't want him to, wicket keep also and then add.
So in the T20, if he was confused, then by giving him the keeping and test, usko pagal hi kar denge. Like there is no way he should keep. Let him focus on his.
I guess he might not. I just trying to.
Look, it's simple as that. If he doesn't perform in the first 2 test matches, he can get dropped. If he doesn't get dropped, then we can question the management and we can have a long debate. But you giving him the 2 tests. I personally told you that Shubman Gill should open the batting, but it's not in my hands, right? It's that's just an opinion that I have. The team management knows best. The captain knows best. If it doesn't work out, he will make that change, bro. He's also Rohit. You have to understand, Rohit Sharma is the captain of India. He understands his responsibility. He knows the risk he's taking with Kerala. He knows that he's going to get questioned. So, हम लोग ऐसा बात कर रहे हैं, on this channel. You think he doesn't know that multiple people will, millions of people will question him when he makes a mistake?
I think based on his press conference. even on his press conferences he says the same thing that हमारे को मालूम है कि किसको कब खिलाना है क्या खिलाना है. Recently उसका press conference था वही बोल रहा था कि भाई एक पूरा strategy बनती है, पूरी planning बनती है, हवा में नहीं बोल सकते. जो बच्चा अच्छा दिखा उसको हमेशा chance नहीं दे सकते. Situation pitch a lot of things are taken into consideration. It's not कि भाई जो बंदा form में हमेशा उसको ही खिलाया जाएगा. Obviously we'll assess it what the best balance on that day is. So yeah, I mean he knows what he's doing 100%.
And that's what I'm saying. Don't you think he knows also that it's a risk? Like, you look, this guy is not in form, I'm playing him. He knows that he's taking that risk. He has a particular belief, particular idea that he's trying to implement. So he's going to go for KL Rahul. But he knows that if it's going to backfire, सवाल उस पे ही उठेगा रोहित शर्मा पे. So he's taking that risk. Why he's taking it, only he can answer. But he knows that, bhai, it can backfire. Pressure hai us pe. KL could be the starting keeper and Gill open with Rohit, while KL bats 5-6 and Sky plays aggressive batsman at 5 or 6. Again, that's going to be an even bigger risk because whether for me, if KL Rahul drops 3-4 catches and then on top of that gets out, not only you're getting out for a duck, you're also wasting the opportunity of your bowlers who are putting the hard yards in. If KS Bharat takes 4-5 catches and KL Rahul contributes 20, that's a plus. That's a plus over there. It's, for me, you need to have your specialist keeper, and he should be the guy who's starting the game, because in test matches, especially on a ranked runner with Ashwin Jadeja bowling, I don't think he'll be able to handle it. And because he's not, it's not that it's not, the simple thing is he is not a permanent keeper. He himself knows that he's a part-time keeper. IPL में भी उन्हें पूरा time नहीं करता keeping.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. हार्दिक एक ओवर को डालता है, रन देता है, फिर और बॉलर पे दबाव आता है. अंशु भाई, ऑनेस्टली हार्दिक पांड्या की बॉलिंग इन रीसेंट टाइम अगर आप देख रहे हैं बहुत अच्छी रही है. एक आध आई थिंक 2 ही मैच में एक 70 जो खाया था उन्होंने सेकंड या थर्ड ओडीआई में. उसके अलावा उसमें भी उन्होंने एंड में आके बेहतरीन एक ओवर डाला था. आई थिंक उसके बाद का ओवर आई थिंक शामी डाला था, कोई डाला था बैक टू बैक. वो दोनों से जो बचाया था मैच टेक्निकली इंडिया का. एंड आज भी ही डिडंट बॉल दैट बैड, ही बॉल्ड अ डिसेंट स्पेल. तो आई थिंक उनकी बॉलिंग अच्छी रहेगी. दबाव तो देखिए भाई रहेगा, आप बॉलिंग के हिसाब से अगर आप देख रहे, बट हार्दिक पांड्या को हमेशा उसकी बॉलिंग के अगर हिसाब से अपन देख रहे, ही हैडंट बॉल्ड वेरी बैड इन ऑफ रीसेंट टाइम्स. और आई थिंक उन्हें न्यू बॉल का भी ऑप्शन देता आपको, तो या ही इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट बॉलर एज वेल एट द सेम टाइम.
Hardik Pandya, and also he just needs to get into that rhythm. He doesn't bowl his full court. It's been a long time where I think now he finally he's getting into that rhythm. He's bowling. Let's see, it's been a while since he's bowled full quota every single time. Even the IPL, there are certain times he doesn't finish. Let's see what happens, bro. The FA Cup game finished 3-3, bro. Wrexham and Sheffield. Crazy last minute Sheffield equalized. Oh, damn.
बहुत ज्यादा फुटबॉल, बहुत ज्यादा क्रिकेट चल रहा है आजकल.
Yeah, and for those people who Wrexham is owned by Ryan Reynolds, right? He has a share in the thing. So
जो Deadpool का कैरेक्टर था Ryan Reynolds technically.
They almost won, man. Last minute they conceded. 95th minute they conceded against Sheffield. The game was going on. I saw it was 2-2 and then suddenly 3-3. But yeah, some good FA Cup games as well. Brighton won. I was very happy with that result. And United won yesterday.
Who won? I think hockey का भी final था World Cup का. I think Germany versus Belgium. Not sure.
भाई Djokovic भी जीत गया. Djokovic, man. People are calling him, they're calling him the next GOAT the new GOAT of tennis, and the way he's been playing consistently and all that. I was never a huge fan of Djokovic.
I think Germany won 5-4 on penalty, sudden death. The Germany hockey World Cup.
Yeah. Wow. They beat
Belgium.
So yeah, I think that wraps it up. First, we will hopefully join you guys very soon, tomorrow or day after, depending on the schedules. I think the next T20 is on Wednesday, Tuesday. I think. Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday? One of the two,
probably. So we'll come with the preview and then with the review as well. Dr. Frey, I forgot your turn, so let him win multiple Grand Slams. He won't be a GOAT for me.
बहुत बड़े टेनिस के फैन है, by the way. He watches tennis.
He's won, right? Multiple Grand Slams. Let him win. He won't be a GOAT. ऐसा बोल रहे. Bro, I'll tell you something. Nadal was never my favorite. Federer was never my favorite. Neither was Djokovic. But live, I saw all three of them. The craziest shot I saw was Federer hit between his legs, man. That was an incredible shot. I know he does it a lot, but I saw it once in Toronto. That was an incredible shot. But for me, I always liked Andy Roddick, man. I loved his serves. Incredible. He was just like serve and volley player, but it was I don't know why I like that. He could never return. Like whenever he had to break,
But
he
even
would
you
never.
like Andy Murray a lot, right? Andy Murray भी बहुत पसंद, Andy Murray से
Yeah,
ज़्यादा उनकी
especially because
बेगम
yeah.
पसंद, हाँ बेगम बहुत पसंद Andy Murray की,
No,
लेकिन
Andy Murray का मगर atmosphere भी crazy था because he was the first British, Wimbledon. So आके दिखते थे. It was crazy, but like that was I think there was Tim Henman as well, but he wasn't as good. So like Murray was the first guy who broke the thing. You saw him, yeah. I got luckily opportunity to see. I saw alhamdulillah quite a few, but I have never seen Cristiano Ronaldo. I've never seen Messi. That's been my
and you
dream.
almost had the chance to.
No, I didn't. Like, I mean, they were close to us, but I didn't have the chance. If someone, it wasn't like I had it on. I had to make that effort, which I couldn't. So it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
just that they were close by.
High up
That's
India. अच्छा, okay.
sorry. हाँ, बोलो.
नहीं यहाँ पे
भाई
भाई आप इंडिया वर्सेस पाकिस्तान कहाँ देखना पसंद करोगे, लॉर्ड्स या एमसीजी में मौका मिले तो? That's a good question. India Pakistan, I would say I think Lords में, because just the whole aura जो रहता है. I mean, I think Lords suits like Australia, England kind of a माहौल, Ashes kind of a माहौल जहाँ पे ज़्यादा gentlemen's cricket खेलते. But yeah, Lords is elite. Like next level atmosphere रहता है Lords में, लोग आके respectably देखते. But India Pakistan की public के अगर हिसाब से देख रहा हूँ तो I would say MCG, because उसमें माहौल अलग था. वो 90,000 packed stadium T20 का जो मैच था. Yeah, for me, I think I'd go with MCG at the end of it. Lord is too sophisticated for me. Chiller बना करे तो जरा अरे यार वो तो देखना पड़ेगा. Which India Pakistan के माहौल में you can't afford that.
But you won't have that if India and Pakistan are playing. Those guys
Yeah, I
won't
mean
come.
just saying. Yeah, I mean still like the whole coming from the dressing room and everything, the bats and like the whole aura that they have, the whole
It would
experience
be
that
cool,
they
like
have.
if you have a final like the England New Zealand one, it would be cool at Lords. I mean, it's a hard question to answer, but if you're saying based on what we've seen, the MCG was incredible. You can't really beat that game. So but for me in England, if I had to choose a place, I'll probably go Old Trafford. I know they've already played there, but Old Trafford or in Birmingham, because there's a lot of Desis over there. There's a lot of Indian Pakistanis in those areas, so it'll be a lot of fun. And then we could hop and watch Man United play as well. So that would be cool. That shot's called as a tweener. Okay, हम लोग between the legs football में in Arabic we say kubri, like between the legs, like bridge basically, like
Yeah, nutmeg.
that's what we call it. So yeah, so I call it a kubri, like a shot, but yeah, it's a tweener. So
हैदराबाद में गल्ला बोलते हैं हमारे पास. हैदराबाद में गल्ला
क्या बोलते हैं?
गल्ला
गल्ला
गल्ला yeah
गल्ला Allah maaf kare. Yeah. So yeah, I think that wraps it up. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure like this episode and share it with your friends and family. We really appreciate all the comments and questions. It was a very hectic day. We watched a lot of cricket today. Some football as well on the side, but yeah. We'll get some rest now and get back to you with the latest. And also, Faz has a lot of stuff waiting in the pipeline for the India-Australia series. He's just waiting for the New Zealand to finish, and then we'll bring up some cool graphics and some cool episodes talking about particular matchups and particular topics heading into that area. And we'll try and see if we can get some people on as well to preview, because there will be a lot of interest for the India-Australia. SRH का प्लेयर फॉर्म में आ रहे हैं. हाँ भाई, मगर अब देखना पड़ेगा आईपीएल के टाइम पे कैसा फॉर्म रहता है, वो सबसे की रहेगा. लेकिन with that on that note, let's take our leave. Thank you so much, Faiz, for joining as usual. It was a good day today, and hope you get some good rest and catch you tomorrow. Take care, bro.